Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, May 21, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. It's interesting that with all of this amazing manifesting power already inside us, that it's quite ironic that more people are not accessing it. Some of the reasons that many of us are stuck in jobs we don't like, relationships that we lose energy battling with every day, and we are either having some sort of food, drug, alcohol, or sex addiction that is taking priority over any real deep spiritual devotion and exploration. The basic reason for all human suffering here is simple. The mind keeps focusing on what we don't want and thus keeps manifesting more of the same. New thoughts rarely have space to form. And after about 70 or 80 years, the human being has wasted all its precious energy on magnetizing on what it doesn't want and doesn't have. The only reason we are not always manifesting everything that we want is because we cannot keep our mind focused long enough on feeling that we're receiving that one thing that we truly desire to have. It's that simple. Now, once we retrain the brain to stay focused, fiercely, deeply, and resolutely focused, we will become the manifesting master of our world. When we practice meditation, we will one day attain mastery over our mind and actually reach a state of physical mastery over our physical world. Right now, the master is fast asleep, and the mind, the servant, is playing the role of master. And the servant is created by the outside world. It follows the outside world and its laws. Once your awareness becomes a flame, it burns up the whole slavery that the mind has created. There is no blissfulness more precious than freedom, than being a master of your own destiny. Oh, sure. When it comes down to life-mind mastery within the great mystery, it is all about discovering the source of pure awareness inside. This is that simple, obvious awareness that is always watching, listening, and experiencing everything in your life all the time. It is the light behind the movie screen of your mind, responsible for projecting the entire picture into everything that you feel, sense, and see. It is responsible for shining the light on every single thought and feeling that you have about anything. It's always the source of what you're experiencing. It's always the source of what your experience is in every moment of your existence. We don't give awareness enough credit. We rarely recognize that it's there and hardly ever take the time to sit down with it and relax into the source of it. The reason we take awareness for granted is because it is ever present, always here, now, just like the air you're breathing. Yet think about it. What if awareness wasn't present anymore? What would happen to your life? Who would you be without awareness? Who would exist if there were nobody to be aware of your existence anymore? Sure, these are some deep thoughts to contemplate. Yet when we do take the time to explore them, something magical does happen. We start becoming more in touch with this divine state of awareness. whether we focus on it, right, is what we experience more of. Whatever we focus on is what we experience more of, and eventually manifests into physical action and form. Whatever we meditate on results in who we are going to become tonight and tomorrow morning. As we become more aware of the infinite spiritual source of awareness inside, we become more connected with what's totally in charge of what we're magnetizing. We can see each thought fly by and see exactly how each one is attracting, creating, and designing how our entire lives unfold and manifest. It is only when we become conscious of this perfect divine play manifesting inside of us and all around us that we stop fighting ourselves, each other, breathing, beating our heads against our inner emotional prison walls. When we stop pushing up against life and start appreciating that everything is an aspect of the great sacred mystery, we start resonating at a higher level of consciousness. We begin feeling more expansive when we wake up in the morning. We greet the day with a childlike curiosity, creativity, and wonder. We do this because at the source of pure awareness, it's easy to realize there truly are no actual prisons in this infinite quantum field of intelligent energy. Prisons are only limiting aspects of our highly creative imagination. If you name me, you negate me. Kierkegaard. On a karmic level, every person has a unique inner emotional prison, and this is part of their unique soul's destiny. Every human came here to release the lie their soul was fed. They came to re-experience the feelings of being confused, rejected, abandoned, hated, suppressed, depressed, and stuck in order to transcend them all. We needed to step harder on thorn hiding in our shoe in order to stop hiking up this great mountain and remove it with love. At some point, every day, we each run into some feeling of being stuck, blocked, or challenged by something or someone. We feel limited, small, powerless, or suppressed from our full expression. Every human mind already has the program installed to throw itself into some emotional dumpster repeatedly. There are many little thorns hiding in our shoes that we are unaware of. Thus, something terrible happens in the outer world. We get dumped by a lover. We end up trashing our self-esteem, our love for life, our feeling of being empowered, and falling into some treacherous feeling of being locked up in an emotional prison we cannot escape from. All of this thorny karma we carry may sound terribly depressing, yet it's good to remember that this universe is more loving, mysterious, and intelligent than we could ever imagine. There is a very beautiful yet unobvious reason why this divinely intelligent, deeply eternal loving universe has set life up to throw each and every one of us through experiences of emotional pain, agony, and suffering. Reason is so that we stop everything we are doing and become deeply inspired to evolve in a spiritual dimension. The spiritual path is the only way we can remove all our thorns and break out of our thick mental and emotional prisons. The only problem is that the mind tends to get lazy and wrapped up in old habit and would never search for the keys to our spiritual freedom unless we felt deeply trapped, imprisoned, or stuck. The mind loves to create these emotional prison cells in the brain, as each one provides new fuel to blast off into a new experience of creativity, growth, evolution, movement, and eventually reach total liberation. So we all have these wonderfully perfect, prickly prisons constructed inside us. Each one is destined to create a deep yearning and desire to be free. You can reject this idea, ignore it, or accept it. Just notice what happens inside your body either way. This search for freedom is as much our destiny as the prisons we've placed ourselves in. There are no real enemies in this world. There are only imaginary shadows. The thorns in our shoes can be removed once we realize that they are also created by our own imagination. We must choose to move beyond the mind through the unconscious, righteous mind that believes it is aware, yet is truly ignorant and not worshiping the great mystery 24 hours a day. It is this ignorance that is our only real enemy. The mind that is deeply stuck in thought and ego and will only strive to create something new when some form of horrific pain, fear, or slavery begins bubbling up inside. The mind is imagining everything that you're experiencing right now. It is believing that your thoughts, beliefs, and all your limitations are real. It is entertaining the feeling that being financially stuck is real, or that your relationships are never going to improve, or you'll always live in the same house forever. It has this idea that whatever challenging life experience you're having right now just may be that way forever. The sensations of emotional imprisonment sure do feel real. Yet, when we step back from them, we see they are just a conglomeration of negative thoughts. When we step back from the mind with awareness, we can understand that we are the ones who have thrown ourselves into jail with our imagination. From this awareness, then we can step out of jail just with using our simple yet all-powerful imagination. One who knows the self has nothing more to do, nor has he any more thoughts. From then on, the infinite power will carry out all further actions that may be necessary for him. Rishi. To acquire an out-of-jail pass, we must choose to gift it to ourselves. We must accept that everything and everyone in this life is a part of this deep, holographic, infinite mystery. In this acceptance, we stop feeling limited. We see how our imagination is co-creating everything, designing this entire thing we deem as reality. Then and only then can we understand what it takes to be free. By knowing what is creating thought, we stop believing in all of its fantasies. We realize that any potential feeling of slavery is a choice from here on out. We understand that we always have the free will and choice in how we wish to interact and engage with any thought that enters the mind, and can keep it like a winning lottery ticket or toss it away like a used banana peel. So my invitation right now for you is to not hold on to any beliefs that show up about yourself, others, and this life. Choose the mystery over certainty, just because it is more exciting. It's simply more interesting to not know than to know. When you're living within the mystery 24 hours a day, you suddenly find yourself becoming spontaneous, free from hesitation, doubt, and barely have any fear. It requires all the courage you have to keep choosing the mystery over the normal way of being human. Yet, you're much more likely to experience your fears as some weird, bubbling state of excitement than something you run from. You might even see your life as this wild, passionate birthing of random desires to engage and disengage from. Ultimately, it is a mystery how long or short your life is going to last. So why not start embracing it now? When we embrace the mystery as a way of living life, the mysterious way keeps us truly alive. We start abiding in a state of wonder, deep curiosity about everything. We stop defining who we are and start realizing that truly we are actually indefinable. We start seeing amazing intelligent energy is here now, directly in front of your eyes. Most of us, I don't know about you, I've not yet met anyone who isn't worrying about something. But that doesn't mean you know they're worried, but a lot of people keep it inside. And it is by far one of the most destructive habits the human mind can entertain. It is a disease of the psyche. Now remember what the psyche is, the human psyche, okay? The human psyche is other people's thoughts. That's what it is. So it is a disease of the psyche, which forms when we feel disconnected from our soul and our spiritual roots. Something happens in this life, and the perpetual stream of negative fear-based thoughts flood into our head and begin repeating themselves over and over and over again. Fearful feelings bubble up inside and fill the narrowing mind with doubt and resistance to trusting to life. The thing we are worried about may or may not manifest, yet the mind clenches too tight and is able to let go and relax. It manifests when we rely only on the logical, rational mind to serve as our guide and forget what it's like to live from our heart. Then we become lost in the trail of perpetual tension left behind in the mind's anxious what-if thinking. The warrior inside us has lost its spiritual roots. It's forgotten how to deeply enjoy this life, be free from attachments in this world, and truly trust that everything is always unfolding perfectly in this divine, all-intelligent universe, which never, ever makes mistakes. Worrying is an effect of not trusting our spiritual connection to this universe. This disconnection creates the assumption that we are powerless beings who are not the real manifestors of our future. And the interesting thing is that majority of the time, we spend all that energy and it doesn't come to be. But, it's like 99% never manifests. It's that little 1% the mind worries about. The ego mind wants full control of reality, thinking that having a stronger, more strategic hold on this life is the most optimum place to be. When we resist trusting in this life, we stop letting in love and honoring the divine mystery that surrounds us. The ego mind then becomes very tight, tense, demanding, controlling, and worried about everything. The ego abhors being weak, vulnerable, and unprotected from unexpected change. It thinks real strength is found in hardness and wants total security, safety, and 100% guarantee that life will be okay. Yet, the ego doesn't realize that this life is a perpetual leap of faith into the unknown. The ego has forgotten that true strength is found in softness, and that water always wins over rock in the end. Our ego is learning how to have a soft, forgiving heart filled with trust. For this is the only way to relax, enjoy this lifetime, and truly become worry-free. The warrior within us can be a bit tricky to catch and sometimes super challenging to stop. We can get so accustomed to blindly following the over-analytical, skeptical, doubting mindset and feel this is more intelligent and trustworthy than our free-flowing, spontaneously arising intuition. The worry addict inside us is that part which has stopped appreciating this life just the way it is. It feels incapable of accepting that whatever will manifest tomorrow will be for the highest good of all concerned. The worry inside of us is like a 24-hour slave laborer who is constantly efforting for security through pushing the mind to dwell only on a negative perspective of this life. It is illogical and so fearful that it believes thinking positively is just some weak, gullible, naive, unrealistic mindset that is unprepared for some potential future horror that could occur. There's not much you can do to convince a super worried mind that a negative outcome is not coming ahead. A biochemical cocktail has been created in the worry field-filled brain that makes it quite challenging and almost painful to believe in positive thoughts. You ever felt that way? You ever felt that you're deep in negative thoughts, okay? And it becomes challenging and almost painful to believe in positive thoughts. In fact, I've come across people that are angry when you talk to them, saying that you might want to try moving into higher thoughts, positive thoughts, what you want, not what you don't want. And they get angry about that, frustrated, challenging, defensive. The worrier feels at home, and life is somewhat under control if it keeps thinking negative thoughts. The worried brain cocktail generates this right feeling that we should be worried and continue on this path, being even more serious and concerned about any potentially highly critical or important life situation. The worried mind cannot trust like life or take a vacation. For it's never a good time to joke around, have any fun, appreciate our spiritual nature, or celebrate being alive today. It's not the right time. No, it's not good timing. I've got to continually think negative thoughts. When the cocktail of worried biochemicals have taken over the brain, it is so powerful that the only place to find any freedom or clarity is by shifting gears into higher consciousness. When we interject a steady stream of pure awareness into our mind, we slowly stop believing that our fearful fantasy is going to manifest. The energy of pure consciousness acts like a river of clean, clear flowing water, which purifies away the negative ideas which have little foundation in reality. By simply being aware of our consciousness for a few minutes, we can instantly change our ego's need to be afraid and in control. We can begin to sip a deeper, skillant experience of life that feels open, trusting, and loves enjoying the sensation of a deeper relaxation inside. The normal self is the mind. The mind is with limitations, but pure consciousness is beyond limitations and is reached by investigation into the I, the Maharishi. You can tell a worried mind several million times not to worry. Yet the reason why it continues worrying is that it is uneducated. It doesn't know how to relax the body, love the mystery, and trust in a perfect future. It thinks too much, feels too powerless, and feels the need to be in control of it all. Yet, when it imagines some fearful scene is occurring, it believes its thoughts are having no energetic impact on the outer environment or people. The worried mind is ignorant of what quantum physics has proven the past 50 years, that thoughts are things that impact our world. Every thought and feeling you have is impacting your environment, community, the entire world on some level. For example, they've proven that a person who you're emotionally close with on the other side of this world can feel it when you shift into a highly emotional state of love, anxiety, or fear. We know people are more prone to doing business with those who live from a state of trust, faith, and connection rather than worry and fear. We are able to manifest, magnetize, and attract the right people and situations we want when our heart is resonating with the feeling that everything is going to be fun. The more we understand the deep power we each hold in every thought we think, the easier it will become to step back from the worried mind and transcend it. If we cannot step away from the mind, we are a mere slave to its forces. When you look at your worries directly, you may see that they typically are directed at the outer world. The mind tends to get hooked on thoughts about possessions, money situation, home life, our physical body, what other people think if our loved ones are doing okay, and what we will manifest in our future. The untrained mind can worry about anything. It is a real creative genius that will poke around every possible fearful corner. Sometimes the mind will worry about our loved ones, thinking that this is a form of caring about them. We might even feel guilty if they don't worry about them, thinking that not worrying or fearing for their life means we don't truly care about them. The problem with this is that this worrying energy is sending out a negative vibration of fear that is unhealthy, untrusting, unsupportive, and actually pulls their loved ones down energetically. When we worry about someone, it energetically drains the life force of another person, cutting off our trusting relationship with them and causing them to feel more isolated and lonely in this universe. Be aware, worrying is a highly unconscious habit that can become more addictive than cocaine. It can completely destroy a life that was potentially filled with joy, love, and laughter. If we don't learn how to transcend this addictive mindset, the energy can even implode within ourselves. When worry becomes self-abusive, we perpetually doubt who we are, why we're here, what we're doing, and fear being wrong about everything we say and feel. We can end up doubting our lives on every level, and this can evolve into an insanely stressful way of being that manifests into a psychosomatic dis-ease and eventually death. Now, this is something to worry about. It's vital to create a new response to this life where we are deeply appreciating and trusting each moment, feeling the great goodness of this life that is naturally here and all around us now. There's only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things that are beyond the power of our will. Epictetus. Now, there's some basic steps you can take to stop your inner worrier in its tracks and reclaim a life full of trust and joy. The first is to own the fact that every single worried thought that you have is being generated by you. You're the one creating it, and so you are the one who can stop creating it. If you don't take responsibility for it, you cannot stop it. Simply investigate what is happening inside, and you'll see that your mind is focusing on what it does not want to think, have, do, imagine, feel, experience, or manifest. When you take responsibility for this, knowing you are the master and authority of your next thought process, and can simply choose to focus or whatever you want to focus on, you begin investing your time and energy into something fun, uplifting, trustworthy, and new. It's empowering to know that you can imagine anything you want at any time. And that new thought process will impact your experience of reality. What if all your time was spent focusing on what you do want to manifest, instead of being invested, visualizing, and fearing what you don't want? How would your body feel by the end of the day? When you see that it all boils down to focusing on what you want, you empower yourself to only visualize something wonderful each day. You begin to imagine the warm rays of sunshine reaching into your heart, as your feet are cozily nestled in the warm sand, as you're gazing at the orange and pink sunset across the ocean. This thought alone creates an instant happy cocktail in your brain that can relieve you of those thoughts which were dwelling in that dark, smelly garbage bin, overflowing with anxiety and fear. A powerful method to eliminate worry. It is most likely the backbone to getting rid of the worry vibe from your life forever. The big secret here comes in learning the fine habit. Learning the fine habit of how to replace worry with wonder. Instead of fearing what might occur, replace it with being curious and wondering what might occur. Realize that there are an infinite number of possible outcomes that could manifest at any moment in your future. All day long, remain in a constant state of curiosity. You cannot be so arrogant to think that you actually know exactly what the universe has in store for you, or anyone for that matter. As you begin to open the door of wonder, you start tapping into this awesome sense of innocence inside. It feels like your heart is a newborn flower opening its petals to the sun. For a few moments right now, allow your heart to feel any feelings you can summon of pure innocence and goodness. Remember what it was like when you were a fresh newborn baby who knew absolutely nothing. Playing in the dirt, making sandcastles, looking at butterfly passing by. Recall what life was like to be curious about everything. We are always relating to this life in a state of awe about every little thing around us. We see this amazing universe for what it truly is. This is the path of perpetual curiosity, and it destroys worry instantly, every single time. Implement this simple curiosity switch the moment you find your mind worrying. And with a bit of practice, the mind will shift gears automatically and will be replacing worry with wonder for you each time. You'll soon discover that your time on this earth will naturally be filled with wonder, making every day absolutely wonderful. Another powerful tool to transcending worry is to strengthen your mental discipline and focus. When the reins on the mind are too loose or too tight, those wild worry horses inside will go crazy and trample all over your life. Every day we need to strengthen our spiritual connection to our innermost being. This manifests through opening our heart to nature, and creating roots in spiritual trust with wings of divine curiosity. When we simply trust that life is always guiding us towards a greater and higher good, we can rest easy inside. We can remain open and curious each day along the journey and allow the spiritual goodness to find us wherever we might be. Those of us who have been playing the worrying game for years might have turned into a worry zombie. You feel you are not used to trusting in this life, feel numb to love, lightness, joy, or orgasmic pleasure. You could have become a zombie. You step out of the zombie zone, pull back strong on your mind's reins, and steer those crazy horses back into the soft green pleasure pastures of the heart. Hold the mind firm on the energy and feeling of trust. Feel that one positive thing that you love in life is here now. Give it all of your appreciation. Devote yourself to trusting this life. Repeat and feel all day long that you are now trusting life. Be committed to living in a state of wonder. This inner devotion to you will change everything for the better. Using the breath to expand out of your worried mind and enhance your positive state of being literally takes 30 seconds to make this change. Inhale slowly for 10 seconds. Hold your breath for 10 seconds. Exhale slowly for 10 seconds. Feeling trusting energy is growing inside. Practice this breath cycle for 3 minutes, and you'll find yourself entering a very calming, centered state of mind with a peaceful, still awareness. If you cannot find a few minutes to breathe, just even take one long, deep breath into your heart the moment worry creeps in. You'll create a more expansive, relaxed sensation in the chest, and you'll be able to instantly step back from the worried mind. Be aware that awareness is always the main core ingredient needed for creating a worry-free mind. Anytime you find your mind beginning to worry about anything, retreat back into what is aware. Step back into the ever-present witness of the mind. Be the observer. Be the one watching the thoughts float by without participating in their drama nor their story. Witnessing means having no attachment to the outcome. This is one of the most essential and instantly effective worry reversing habits you can practice. To permanently move your head out of the land of Worryville forever, you'll want to take a long, deep, honest look at what your personal worry issues are typically about. Why are you so attached to these particular issues and not those other things? Get curious about the subtleties around this worry habit. You'll find out what your innermost fears are and why they are there. Explore, investigate, and digest what your soul is truly longing to experience. Get to know yourself more deeply and intimately. You must choose to understand the different forms of false security your ego is reaching for and why. Do you ever want to fully relax into your spiritual essence and truly be free from this perpetual search for safety the ego is craving? I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. This universe is your playground. You can be whomever you choose to be. There are no rules on who you can or cannot be. So, who do you want to be today? What thoughts and beliefs do you most want to have that will take your life in this new direction? Create an inner map for yourself, a guide that arrives at your ideal future state of mind. Start by exploring what thoughts you like to think about and write them down. What does your favorite teacher or master usually say? Think about or focus on. What will it feel like to others to be around you when you're in this new state of mind? Randomly ask yourself 17 times today, what am I thinking? Is this thought creating who I want to become? Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. And we will return here Monday, May 22nd, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call.